When you dig a trench, you'll see what's called a soil profile. Our two most productive and common soils are grassland and forest soils. A profile reveals how deep the topsoil is and where the subsoil begins. These are also referred to as the A and B horizons. Soil grows from the top down under the influence of vegetation, chemical weathering, and water movement. The topsoil is the most valuable portion. Conserve it as much as possible and never mix it with the lower horizons, or you'll undo hundreds of years of soil development. Forest soils typically occur in regions with greater rainfall than grassland soils, leading to clay accumulation down in the B horizon, acting as a moisture and mineral reserve. Although different, both these soils have something to teach us about natural soil health and function. About half of the soil volume consists of mineral matter. This includes the relative proportions of sand, silt, and clay, which gives you the textural classification. By oven heating a soil sample and dividing the volume by the bulk density of the minerals, the void or pore spaces can be calculated. Typically, this space is filled evenly with water and air. As water comes in, air is forced out. And as water drains away, air is pulled in. This is how alternating air and water allows a soil to breathe, essential for healthy roots and plant growth. This empty space is where everything happens, including growth. By heating the soil sample further, to the point at which organic matter burns off, we can calculate the amount of organic matter present. Which brings us to this classical diagram that you may have seen before. But by including organic matter on the solid side of our model, we might also take it as a given, like the mineral portion. The important thing is that organic matter is something we can influence to the benefit of soil quality, health, and productivity. So I'll shift it over to the empty side, where soil biology happens. New research is revealing this soil biology functions like our body's biome, regulating our immune system and functional health. This miniature dynamic tidal zone is a remnant of the microbial bridge needed when plants moved from an aquatic environment to the land long ago. Nearly all plants today have symbiotic relationships with microorganisms and the organic portion of the soil known as humus. Think of humus as a mature compost in the soil that holds moisture, nutrients, and a very dynamic community of beneficial microorganisms. A recent exhibit at the U.S. Botanic Garden showed actual root systems in a display about grassland soils. Imagine what these roots mean for the pore spaces in the soil. A cloudburst could drop several inches of rain with no runoff due to the channels created by the deep roots of these perennial grasses. Over time, this builds deep topsoil with a high organic matter content, so characteristic of these productive grassland soils. Whereas in our second most productive soil type, the woodland soils, biomass is accumulated not in the roots below, but up above in the forest canopy itself, hence the lower organic matter content and shallower topsoil, characteristic of woodland soils as contrasted with grassland soils. While working in the tropical rainforest of Hispaniola, in a program training local farmers in alternatives to slash-and-burn agriculture, I saw firsthand how farmers would cut an area of forest, let it dry out, and burn it, harvesting the minerals accumulated in the plant canopy to serve as a fertilizer for their annual bean crop. Later, these little mountainside shelters were used to dry out and thresh the beans before bringing them to market. This reminded me of the soil analysis that burned off organic matter to measure this vital soil organic metric. Although this system is a traditional practice, it requires some 60 years for nature to regenerate the forest to support another slash and burn cycle. As a more sustainable alternative, we taught a soil and forest conserving system with terracing, composting, and permacultural aspects for the benefits of these rural farmers. Yet I felt a bit of hypocrisy, since back home we have our own history of environmental disasters. Much of our forest and grassland soils were overused and abused by the early 20th century, as described earlier in my previous posts on ecoliteracy. What might these two soil types have to teach us about sustainability? Work with soil biology. Look into and consider which of these practices can enhance your soil's health and productivity. I'll repost this list in my fourth blog here on ecoliteracy for your study and review. And you'll discover how beautiful soil will become your greatest pride, joy, and legacy.